Hello and welcome back to the AfterEllen podcast. I'm your host, Editor-in-Chief Jocelyn McDonald, and I'm here with our writer, Gabby. What's up, Gabby?
Nothing much. What's going on with you?
I'm excited because today we're going to be talking about the new Kristen Stewart romcom, Happiest season.
I'm so excited. I can't believe I'm finally going to meet everyone. There's something that we should talk about. Hi! I didn't tell my parents I'm gay. So who do they think I am?
This is Harper's orphan friend, Abby.
Yes, of course. They're there.
You're so brave. You don't need to be.
Now, this movie got a lot of hype before it came out. We've all been waiting for this for fully a year. I remember the first time we mentioned it on AfterEllen was basically like a year ago when it was teased that Clea Duvall was going to be writing and directing a movie starring a celebrity lesbian.
I think I wrote about this movie twice.
Yeah.
In the last 2 months, so.
There was a lot of high expectations for a something more than a slice of lesbian representation, you know, maybe really finally getting a whole pie of lesbian representation, and we were all pretty hyped. But as soon as it dropped, women had opinions.
Oh, did we?
Gabby, what'd you see?
Well,
what's the word on the street?
Okay. It felt like a civil war was happening with this movie. There was a lot of, I completely hated it, I loved it, and there were just a few of us in the middle who were like, you know, I have no strong opinions, but I couldn't come into this podcast being like, I have no strong opinions about it. I went back and watched it. Yeah, I went back and watched it again just to find things to be mad about for this.
Yeah, I appreciate that you did that for Lesbian Kind. I was shocked that you didn't have strong opinions. Coming out of it, my heart was all over the place. I had trouble processing it. I had to go to all my lesbian friends, and in my social circle, there was a lot of disappointment, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
How about yours?
Yeah, I think I went and asked my friends who did watch it. So I got, this is white nonsense. I was highly disappointed. One good review was, I really like K-Stew's hair in this.
Wild. That is not her best feature in this movie. That actually really, I take issue with that take.
Hey, okay, it wasn't my take. So.
I liked her bobby pins. I think she had really tight looking bobby pins. They were geometric. I liked it.
Drop the bobby pins wherever we can buy those, guys.
Yeah, so my friends were not that hyped about it. In fact, they were pretty disappointed. But when I went online, a lot of people were flipping out and really happy. They thought it was the cutest fucking thing they'd ever seen. They thought it was super romantic. They were really happy about the type of representation we were getting. Right. And the memes are fire. The memes are out here are
for sure.
And worth the movie. However the movie turned out, it's always worth the memes that the lesbians are coming up with. So yeah, I mean, quick summary of this movie for those who haven't seen it.
Oh, you want me to do it? Okay, so basically there's a couple and it's Christmas time. Surprise. So, oh crap. I just
One of
forgot.
them really loves Christmas. One of them loves Christmas, and it's kind of like, why do you love Christmas so much? Like, this is suspicious. She invites her girlfriend back home, and the next morning after the invite, she tries to retract it, remembering that she still hasn't come out to her parents as a lesbian who is living with her girlfriend in a one-bedroom apartment in the city. So,
oh my God,
not sure how you thought about that. So they go back to Harper. Her name is Harper. They go back to Harper's house in the suburbs, her McMansion, and they agree to pretend not only that Kristen Stewart, what's her character's name again?
Abby
pretends that she's straight, in addition to pretending that she's not, in love with this chick. And I was really upset about that plot point from the start. Like, I don't want to watch a movie about a woman whose closeted status requires her to demean the love of her life.
Right, and, like, shove her back into the closet.
Yeah, like, that's not a fun setup for me. I don't think that there's the potential for comedy in there.
Yeah, it
But
just
that's the,
seemed
first
it
10
was
minutes of the movie.
clearly disrespectful, like, honestly.
Mhm. So, suspend your deep disappointment and continue watching, and some gentle hijinks will ensue. And that's the other issue that I took with this movie. The hijinks were gentle, and they should have been madcap. This movie should have been, you know, they set us up for like a door, the basement door doesn't lock where Abby is sleeping, and rather than, lots of hijinks of people sneaking around the house and narrowly missing the mom and having, intimate moments or disheveled moments throughout the house. The hijinks last for like 30 seconds and they resolve quickly with like the women are in bed together and then they just wake up together. And there's no sexiness, there's no escalation to the hijinks. I was looking for a sequence similar to like Wedding Crashers, where there's a wacky family, there's wacky characters who are trying to interrupt the romantic leads as they try to find one another. And there's sexiness, there's physical comedy, there's something for us to work with. We want these characters to get together. No, that there was just not there was just not that
I was honestly
type of comedy.
got to the point where I was rooting against Harper. I just I was
I was
not
rooting against her from the beginning.
I was not down with this. Yeah, for sure.
So, and throughout I just kept thinking, I love Clea Duvall. I lust for Kristen Stewart. I don't think she's a particularly good actor, but at any rate, I wanted the movie to succeed. So I'm like, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to find the good in it. And so I don't want to sit here ragging on it as if my opinion of it was purely negative, but it was just not the movie that I wanted to watch. When someone told me that I was going to get a lesbian romantic comedy, I thought I was going to get more romance and not just comedy.
Right.
It was like the setup was romantic, but there was not any chemistry between Harper and Abby. So it was like, why are these characters pining for one another? Why are they, what is driving them to try to stick together in spite of the huge obstacle of this woman lying about who she is?
Yeah, and Harper felt so just disrespectful towards all of Abby's feelings. Like, I don't feel comfortable with you hanging out with your ex until 3 a.m., but Harper's the one who's defensive about it, you know?
Right, and acts like Abby is being clingy or controlling. So there was the setup that was really fucked up. There was the constant lying from Harper to Abby. And then there was this strange relationship between Harper and her high school ex-boyfriend. And like, a lot of lesbians have straight experimentation days in our youths. But when you return to those former lovers, there's no chemistry there because you're gay. And in this movie, there was probably more flirtation and physicality between Harper and her ex-boyfriend than there was between Harper and Abby. Like Harper and Abby exchanged a sweet kiss and a handhold and woke up in bed together. And like, meanwhile, when Harper is in scenes with her ex-boyfriend, whose name is irrelevant to me, she's like touching his tummy at one point and like leaning into him and, you know, speaking softly and slowly. Like, why are you giving this man a minute of your time other than to say, hey, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're well. I have no interest in a relationship with you of any kind because I'm
like, glad you're not
in
dead.
love with
Bye.
Yeah, like, oh, it's nice to see you. You mean nothing to me. Like, what?
Right?
I'm in love with this other woman. I'm in love with a woman. We're like living together. I don't understand where's the fascination for this, you know, for this dude that her parents intend for her. That's the other thing. Her parents intend for her to be with him. So, you know, there's like this sick Freudian aspect of her giving into them throughout. And I don't think that's like a setup for a bunch of laughs.
Right. And then there's the relationship between Abby and Riley, which I was rooting for. And there was just that
God, yes.
Yeah, that moment where Riley tells her what Harper did in high school. And I was like, oh, okay. So this isn't a one-time thing. Like, she's done this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She made a mistake in high school and she's about to repeat it because she doesn't care about people's feelings or because she doesn't learn and evolve. Like, how are we gonna give this person grace when her behavior...
Imagine not growing from high school till you're like 30. Couldn't be me.
Till someone's about to buy you a beautiful diamond ring. Like, what is happening? How did Kristen Stewart not see this about you? Honestly, I'm worried about Kristen Stewart, that she never noticed that you like have these qualities. But, you know, Kristen Stewart and Aubrey Plaza actually had chemistry together. And as soon as they are on screen, you know, Aubrey Plaza's eyes are very flirtatious. I feel like she always has that energy in her characters. And Kristen Stewart's sex appeal is in her aloofness, which is very lesbian. Like, I feel like there's always the pursuer who does the eye fucking and the person who pretends not to care. You know, in certain lesbian dynamics, it's not.
Okay, was anybody going to tell me that Aubrey Plaza was bi, or was I just supposed to find that out myself on Wikipedia?
I mean, I think you could tell by just her walk, her look, the way she, I don't know, she seems very
like, I always got vibes, but I never
lesbian
had confirmation. So
I mean, I don't remember her dating anyone super publicly. I always assume if someone doesn't have like a public boyfriend, it's because they're probably waiting for their wife to come along. I don't know. But Aubrey Plaza was in a movie where there were lesbian themes there. And actually in that movie, there also appeared another actor who was in this movie. And her name is Allison. Wait, what's her name? She was in Mad Men and she was in Community.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I forgot her name.
She's really good at acting.
Allison Brie.
Allison Brie. Okay, yeah. Allison Brie was in that movie about nuns. I think it was called, well, fuck, I don't know what it was called, honestly. But it was good. It was interesting to watch. I liked it. Okay, it was called The Little Hours. Yeah, and that was when I guess I knew that Aubrey Plaza had big dyke energy, regardless of whether or not she's actually a lesbian. She just definitely has a way with women.
Mm-hmm. She's a pretty dark-haired woman, so I don't know what more you expect from me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you know, Kristen Stewart did her aloof thing, her lip biting thing, her, oh, I want to magnetically be near you, but don't want to admit it. And Aubrey Plaza did her eyeballs of intensity. And, you know, as they're hanging out, it makes so much more sense for her to run from Harper, the woman who can't admit that she's in love with a woman and can't admit who she is, even though she's a grown-up and not under her parents' roof anymore.
Right.
She can't, like, it's one thing to not come out to your parents because you are afraid that you're going to be rejected. I understand that there are a lot of reasons to protect yourself from your parents' reactions to you. She lied to all of her friends as well. She didn't tell any of her friends that she's in a
that was the
live-in
weird thing.
relationship with a woman. None of them are going to give a fuck. And they can't disown her. If they do give a fuck, they can't disown her. She just gets to be like, wow, you guys are bad friends, and never talk to them again. But it makes no sense that
Like,
she
maybe
would
this movie
lie
would have
to the
made sense if they
ex-boyfriend.
were like 18, right? But they're like, in their 30s.
Yeah. They're contemplating marriage. They're at that step in life. So you should know, you should be ready to admit to yourself who you are at that point. You should be making moves. So at any rate, I wanted Kristen Stewart to run away with Riley. I think the internet did. I think all Lesbian Dumb did, because they actually had chemistry, and it would have been honestly a really surprise twist on your typical rom-com if
Riley
it had gone that
showing
way.
up in the middle of the night playing Carly Rae Jepsen's Run Away With Me, and then they run away. That's it.
Where was this movie? Like, I want to see that.
Well, somebody hire me to write this.
You're greenlit. I got you.
Thank you.
Yes. So, the best part of this movie was honestly Daniel Levy. And he's not a lesbian.
He was part of the family.
He was still fantastic. Part of the family. Yeah, good point. He was like, his line delivery was fantastic. He was that's the thing. He was funny. The issue with the romantic leads is neither of them were comedians.
Yeah.
And you can't have two straight characters. One person has to be the comic relief. There has to be a dynamic of trying and failing, and the audience is laughing at you and with you and hoping for an outcome that is good for you, but like watching you struggle is also funny. Like, neither of them were funny.
Didn't happen.
Neither of them were funny. Neither of them were sensual. This is not how you earn your audience's, desire for you to get together in the end. That's why everybody that's why everybody's Team Riley now.
Exactly. Oh God, there's that part where the sister.
Spoiler alert! Massive spoiler alert!
The sister outed her, and she still denied it. And
that was the worst part. That was a huge spoiler. First of all.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
That was the worst part of the movie. Like, every lesbian watching that had to like confront our darkest traumas in that moment. Like, she gets called out. She has the opportunity to defend her lover and defend their love. And instead of doing so, she abandons it, laughs at it, pretends it's non-existent, and that the very idea is just comical to her. Like,
couldn't be me.
Ooh.
Imagine not wanting to fight God for the woman that you love. Couldn't be me.
I can't imagine it. It doesn't make sense. That's not the planet I live on.
It was so frustrating. And they still got together after that. She didn't even respect Abby's. Abby was like, can we have some space? Because I need to like process everything that just happened. And she couldn't even respect that.
Yeah. The monologue where Daniel Levy's character, whose name I don't remember, kind of is having a conversation with Abby outside, and he's talking about his coming out story and how all of our coming out stories are different. That really justified the whole setup of the movie and gave the movie a reason for being. And it made me cry. No doubt it was a very moving scene, and it put the whole movie into a perspective where it became suddenly very meaningful to me, instead of something that I was kind of angry about, but also laughing at a lot because it was pretty funny. So I'm crying, I'm laughing. It made me feel loyal to the movie. But then in the end, I still am just left with this sort of resentment that two women who are not either ready for love or not ready for love with each other are getting together, and we're all supposed to be like, this is fine.
Right? And Riley was still single at the end of it. What kind of crime is
no.
this?
Did you see there was an Instagram post at the end of the movie?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, Clea Duvall had her arm around Aubrey Plaza in this snapshot. So it's as if it was like
I remember. Yeah.
Easter egg. A little cameo for Clea Duvall. So I think you're supposed to believe that Riley has found love or something.
With someone who wasn't even in the movie.
Yeah. Which is fine because Riley's character is clearly just there to be a plot device for Abby, and then for Harper, like, she completely forgives Harper, and even though Harper's doing the same thing a second time that she did to her, she's watching in real time as this bitch breaks someone else's heart, and is able to like walk away feeling well-wishing for her. I'm not that big, to be honest.
Like, oh no, I'm gonna hold a grudge.
Oh yeah, I'll hold a grudge. I'll rock that grudge to sleep like a baby. I'll hold that grudge.
And can we just talk about the hair? Unrelated.
We need to talk about the hair. No, it's a big part of it. It's a big part of my disappointments in the movie. Fucking Kristen Stewart's hair was jankety from her first scene.
Her extensions left halfway through the movie. They were just like, can't be doing with this. We're out.
Yeah, her bleached hair was haggard. It was she's kind of serving us like vintage Courtney Love, like heroin chic or something, and it's like, babe, that ship sailed 2 decades ago and it is not back. Then we have the bangs.
Oh, the bangs
on that wig Mackenzie is rocking. Harper's character is wearing the weirdest wig. Just what happened there?
Somebody needed to snatch that wig. So I was not happy with those bangs.
No, her hair looked really thin and sad and lifeless.
Right? Couldn't be me.
No. But
I don't understand why they wouldn't
Aubrey
just
Plaza had great hair.
Oh, amazing hair.
Another point for Aubrey Plaza.
Her character was only supposed to be a plot device, and then everybody ended up loving her more than the two leads.
Yeah. Can somebody just get Kristen Stewart some shea butter or some jojoba oil or something? Like, I just need her to do a deep condition or two. I'm worried about those brittle ends.
Oh, right? She needs to get on that deep condition.
Snap under those bobby pins, those fierce fucking bobby pins anytime.
Right. They were the star, honestly, those bobby pins.
Yes, there was there was a lot to recommend the movie, and I feel like now that we're on a roll of everything we hated about it, it's hard to remember what that is. But it was funny and charming at times. It was heart-wrenching. There was a lot of emotions that happened.
I think for me, I didn't react that way because I watched this right after the new Adventure Time special, which was very gay and very different from what, because I felt a lot watching that. And I know it's animated, so not a lot of people are going to want to watch something that's animated. But
I hate animated things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people do. And,
that's are women reacting to the Adventure Time thing? How's the internet taking it?
A lot of crying. A lot of crying. Sure. Yeah. So a lot of,
it's Adventure Time.
It's Bubbles. It's what?
It's Bubbles.
Bubblegum and Marceline. Yes.
Marceline.
So this show came out. I was still in high school when this show premiered. So as somebody who's been following it since then, to have this episode focus solely on their relationship,
It was just an episode?
Yeah, it was like an hour-long episode.
Ooh.
It's like a special, but just for them, right? And there was so much growth in their characters.
Aww.
That I didn't see. Yeah, especially in their... Listen, it's serious when the first things that we see of them, they're building Ikea furniture together. That's how you know it's real.
They have Ikea in whatever world they are in?
Well, it's like, same like Ikea type.
Flat pack.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Scandinavian.
So they had this growth of realizing that, hey, we did a lot of bad things when we were younger. Our first breakup was not great, and we never really, resolved a lot of that anger. And you watch Marceline just grow as a character, saying, hey, I'm not this angry kid that I was before. I'm past it. I'm good with bubblegum. We've resolved everything now. I didn't get to see that in the Happiest season. I felt like it just ended and we're supposed to accept this ending. But did Harper really grow, or did she just, say those things to say those things?
I don't know.
Where I can definitively say that Marceline did grow. We watched her grow throughout this hour-long episode, right? With Harper, it's I don't feel like she did.
Yeah. So then there's another Christmas movie right now for lesbians, and it's also kind of Hallmarky, not too sexual, not too I guess in line with a lot of rom-coms. It's called A New York Christmas Wedding. A Christmas New York Wedding. What is it?
A New York Christmas Wedding.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it.
Okay, tell us about it, because I didn't watch it because I missed your text message about it.
Are you ready? This is going to be...
I'm trying to prepare myself.
So we start off, it's a teenage girl in her room. It's Christmas time. She's getting her cookies ready. She's made eggnog. The tree's getting ready to be decorated. She calls her best friend up. Hey, are you on your way? You said you're going to come decorate the tree with me. But she's in love with her best friend. She just hasn't said it. She was planning to say it that day, right? When she came over. But the friend was like, oh no, I'm with what's his face and we're doing whatever.
His face. Oh, I'm scared. Okay, go on.
Yes. Okay. So then she, this other girl, I forgot their names, but this other girl was flipping out. She's like, okay, you know what? Forget it. You broke your promise. I don't ever want to talk to you anymore. Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, fuck off. Don't even talk to me anymore. So fast forward 10 years later, this woman is now engaged to a man. She doesn't seem very happy with her life. Her best friend that she had called died.
Oh, okay. God.
Yeah, and she's not happy with her life. So she's like, fuck it, I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to clear my head. She runs into her guardian angel during her run. Yeah,
okay, and so this really is a Hallmark movie.
This is and he's like, you're going to see, I'm going to take you to an alternate, universe or whatever, alternate timeline where you got to confess to your best friend and you're going to see what it's like. Yeah. So she wakes up the next morning in a different bed with her best friend. They're about to get married. Yeah. Yeah.
No, wait, is there chemistry between the lead actors?
Yes, there is.
Ooh, there is. Are they cute together? Do you want them to win?
Oh yeah, I did. I thought they made a good couple.
I wish I'd watched this. I guess we could do another podcast after I do, but this sounds very good. Would you recommend it?
I mean, yeah, you have to be
Is
careful.
It like Netflix original content? Is it cheesy? Is it low production quality?
It's very Hallmark. It's very Hallmark.
Yeah.
I have to say. Yeah. And it's very
but push through, get to
it. The Catholic Church thought I wouldn't see their propaganda. Don't play with me. I was raised Catholic. I see you.
Try again.
I see you. But despite that, you still wanted to root for them. And you get to this point where oh shit, now she has to go back to her other reality, and she's so happy. She doesn't want to go back. So she's trying to make a deal with the angel about how can I stay here? This is where I want to be.
Oh.
So yeah, so he spoiler alert.
Wait. Tell me the end. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, I won't tell you the end, but
okay.
It's fine. The end is fine. So
it's they okay. People are happy. No one ends up with a man.
No one ends up with a man.
Okay, thank God. All right, great. That's all I needed to know. Huh. And so, yeah, what are have your friends watched it? What are women saying about it?
One of my friends watched it and she was really all about the fashion.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, she really liked a lot the red dress. Let me warn you
Ooh.
about that now. She was like, that was almost obscene. That red dress was
Ooh.
wild. But yeah.
Uh-oh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to watch it. Femmes are kind of invisible to me, so I doubt that the dress will have an effect on me, but okay. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it
It's
wasn't like I
we're
wasn't mad. I wasn't mad when I finished it. I was kind of like, oh, all right,
okay.
I'll take
Whereas
drugs.
you rewatched Happiest Season to get mad.
I sure did. I did it just for
Oh
you, lesbians.
man.
Made myself
That
mad just for your entertainment.
I mean, I think it's definitely going to be the sort of thing that women have to watch to be up with the culture, but it's
Mhm.
no Carol, okay?
Oh,
And
Carol is like the lesbian Christmas movie, isn't it?
a lesbian Christmas movie, and it's not a comedy by any stretch.
No.
And I mean, lesbian comedies. I mean, Clea Duvall classic, but I'm a cheerleader.
Imagine Me and You.
We- Yeah, we have comedies and we have holiday romances. We needed those two to meet in a more spectacular way. I don't know. I think our collective lesbian hopes got really high
Mhm.
and and so of course we were going to be disappointed. It's almost like how could you not be when you got your hopes that high when you were waiting for like the lesbian version of When Harry Met Sally and then it just didn't turn out.
Right, right.
Or like The Family Stone or good holiday movie. I mean When Harry Met Sally is kind of a holiday movie because the penultimate scene is at New Year's. And there's so many good holiday movies. There's The Holiday. That's actually a terrible movie, but it's very 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 much a timepiece, as is Love Actually. Love Actually, that might as well be a time capsule of the early 2000s. Fucking Bridget Jones, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Was that also early 2000s?
Yes, and it starts at Christmas and it's New Year's and yeah, there's holidays. Uh, Christmas rom-coms are a thing.
Yeah. Well, straights are
And
allowed to have their mediocre Christmas holiday movies. I guess this is ours.
you're right. And that makes it a win for representation because the mediocre holiday movie is a universal, whether you're gay or straight, apparently. We need a good one to balance it out.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure that your Hallmark movie on Netflix, the Christmas in New York
Oh, it's not.
one, yeah,
It's not.
it doesn't sound like it's the You've Got Mail level. It's not going to make it
Which
into
wasn't
rom-com.
that also early 2000s?
Yeah, and
Or
there was some Christmas time stuff in there.
everybody was wearing them apple bottom jeans and boots with the fur back then, huh?
Not Meg Ryan though. She was dressed like a church choir teacher, and she was wearing like a turtleneck under a smock A-line dress, that kind of thing, which actually I inadvertently cosplayed Meg Ryan on Thanksgiving this year in a turtleneck with a bodycon like
I listen, I
dress.
love a woman in a turtleneck. It has to be said.
It was actually a really beautiful Thanksgiving. We did it outside so no one would like get COVID.
Oh,
And it
that's
was
nice.
like 70 degrees in DC. Like I got I got bit by like 12 mosquitoes on Thanksgiving fucking day, November whatever 27th or something. It was very hot out and it was perfect for Thanksgiving. The sun was shining. It was very beautiful. Yeah. And then we as soon as we finished having our little bonfire and having our little after Thanksgiving cocktails, we went in and giddily we made our way to the TV to watch this rom-com. And so, that's another the expectations. It was the nightcap to a perfect holiday, and then it just kind of disappointed. My straight sister and her husband, my brother-in-law, they loved it, and they thought it was really well written and really good. And I see the merits, but they're just the romance, they didn't earn it.
They didn't. They really didn't. And it was just yet another coming out movie. And I understand the need for them, but they don't all have to be coming out.
Not every
movies.
gay narrative has to be a coming out narrative.
Yeah. It could have been.
It is a little bit exhausting. Yeah.
Yeah. It could have been about literally anything else.
Literally anything.
Have the drama be outside of their relationship. And it's just this lesbian couple getting to fucking trouble and shit, right?
Having hijinks, getting into trouble. Yeah, I agree.
I have to say, I'm not out to my family, but for a completely different reason than why Harper wasn't out,
Why aren't you out to your family?
Honestly, I don't feel like I need to tell them. I don't.
Yeah, you don't honestly need to tell a podcast either. I guess the journalist in me just wanted you to.
If you still think I'm straight based on my vibes, then that's your own personal problem.
That's your issue. I don't need to come out with this big dyke energy. No.
Have you seen my hair? Honestly.
Oh my God. Have I seen your whole vibe from
You follow me on Instagram,
Girl. You and those shredded arms couldn't be gayer.
I'm trying to wear baggier clothes just to be not to show it all the time.
Oh wow. Yeah, that is a tough life that you have, huh?
Oh, it sure is.
Another Christmas rom-com is Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds, and that was another one that I was thinking about because it's a pretty offensive movie, honestly, in a lot of ways. But
not to be mean, but once you said Ryan Reynolds was in it, I was like, oh, this is going to be offensive, isn't it?
Yeah. But there's hijinks. There's a fair bit of potty humor, which is not my favorite. But it was this is the same guy who did Van Wilder, the highly sexualized jokes, and they make for I don't know, the pacing, the urgency level that was missing from this movie. Maybe you don't get that in a Hallmark movie. I'm not saying that you need that in a Hallmark movie, but you need an element of edge. You need a little bit of tension between the characters that is not the high tension of one of you probably doesn't really love the other, and if she did, she wouldn't treat you like this.
Right? God, that was so disrespectful.
Well, I don't know. I feel like we've kind of beaten this topic to death. Is there anything else that we need to say about this movie?
Okay. If you were in Abby's position, what would you have done?
If I was in Abby's position, from the start, when I first found out in the car, I would be so mad. And I don't think that I could have walked into that house and pretended to not be gay. I think from that moment alone, I would have probably called Danielle Levy and be like, it's time to come get me. This bitch is fucking nuts, because she can be in the closet all she wants, but she can't expect me to be in the closet. Right. And the fact that she wants me to be in the closet is scary. That is the sign of someone with serious manipulation tactics. Right. I don't want any part of it. If I had gone into that house, not pretending to be gay, but pretending to not be in a relationship, I guess I would have tried to be super cool to her family. I mean, Kristen Stewart spent a lot of time trying to endear her family, and I thought that was relatable. Even for people who aren't pretending not to be in a relationship, for people who are very much in a relationship. You
I
gotta
found
you
it
gotta
weird in this
convince
movie.
the family.
Right, sorry for interrupting you. I found it weird in this movie that I related to Judy, the sister, more than I did to any of the
Judy, the artist
like
sister.
the sister who wanted to write her book.
I love Judy. Okay, also
Yeah.
I live for Judy and Daniel Levy's character because Daniel Levy is a book publisher
Mm-hmm.
or an editor or an acquisitions editor or something like that, and he hears what'd you say her name was? Judy's
Judy.
crazy book idea and believes in it, and Judy like publishes her book that she's been talking about for fully 8 years or something. That was one of the best parts of the movie,
It
honestly.
was. I felt that so much because I feel like the child that they all gave up on, and I just want to write my outlandish fantasy novel that nobody's like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck are you talking about?
Wait,
It's
we
like
need to talk for a
lesbian Lord of
minute.
the Rings.
Yeah, we need to talk for a minute about Allison Brie's character. So Allison Brie is married to this guy, and right after Allison Brie's character finds Harper and Abby in flagrante in the room whose door does not lock, she runs upstairs and this is like the closest thing to hijinks, really.
Mm-hmm.
They open a closet door and her husband is inside making out with someone, and her response is, "We said we would wait to tell everyone." And
Right.
so you're thinking, does that mean that they're like poly? Are they kinky? Is the
That's what I
relationship
was thinking.
that was obviously, because why would she phrase it like that? Like, and so then I was like, are you comparing being gay with being poly? Because like we're
Like, let's not go down
sexually
that road.
surprising or something. Like, yeah, that was very weird. And then she's like, no, we're getting a divorce. I'm like, this is random.
That's why straight people so weird. Damn.
Yeah, that was odd. Yeah, I mean, what would you do if you were Abby? What would you do if you were Riley?
If I was Riley,
Yeah.
I would just be happy to be attractive, honestly. I'd just be like, whatever, Harper, I can get whoever I want. But
I would put the moves on Abby so hard.
oh, for sure.
I would fling myself at Abby. I'm like not good at flirting, and you're back home, it's the holidays. I feel like it's the perfect time to get drunk and try it on with a stranger. Also, like, it was very weird to watch a movie that because we're in a pandemic where like no one's wearing masks and everyone's touching. I always feel like this right now as new content comes out. This is like very surreal. But I wouldn't take that chance in my own town, in my own social circle. But if I'm home for Christmas and the stakes are not high, like I'm going back to my city, I would definitely throw myself at a hot BDE chick at the gay bar. Like, what do you have to lose? The respect of your ex-girlfriend who ruined your child, who ruined your adolescent years? Like, what? Who cares?
We need a second movie that focuses on Riley, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But like, make it good.
Yeah, make it sexy this time.
Like, honestly, if I had a girlfriend, I would probably just call up my aunt like beforehand, just be like, hey, by the way, just let her know. Just show up to the function with my girlfriend. If anybody else
You
has a
told me
problem with
your
it,
aunt like is your person that you would actually want to know and be accepted by. Everybody's got to know.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
if
it just doesn't need
they figure it out, you know.
Yeah, but it would be different if you were like, yeah, I'm bringing this person home. I don't know, dude.
I luckily don't have to worry about that right now, so.
I've brought people home and it's really awkward. I've never brought home my future wife on account of I haven't met my future wife yet.
You haven't met her yet.
But I imagine it will be super fun and I can't wait.
But for me, watching this movie, I mentioned earlier that one of my friends mentioned that there was a lot of white nonsense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, for me, it kind of felt that way because my family, my extended family is they're very loud and very friendly towards everyone. It's like, oh, if there's any friends you want to bring along, come bring them along. There's always food for everyone. So I feel like that's why I wouldn't have an issue just showing up. Like, obviously telling my aunt beforehand, but like I wouldn't have an issue showing up, you know?
So, I mean, what more needs to be said about this movie? Did we say it all?
I think we did.
I think we did too, because I just took a big bite of caramel-filled chocolate as if I weren't sitting in front of a microphone. Like, how rude is that?
I've been drinking milk tea this whole time. Like, don't even worry about it.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks so much for tuning into the After Ellen podcast. We'd love to know what you think. Please tell us your thoughts on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Let us know how we're doing and tell us what you want to hear about on the After Ellen podcast. And with that, happy holidays, guys.
Stay safe.